with Eurosport, and we're on the Tunisia Rally, day 2, stage 2, and the first days in Tunisia. There is the stage, Tunisia to Noël, right in the centre here. Tunisia, a big town on the edge of the Châtel-Géry, the largest of Tunisia's salt lakes, and the whole area known as the Grand Erg Oriental, the Great Sand Sea. So preparations for the stage start. Bikers warming up in the early morning chill of Tunisia, even here in April. Temperature won't get up until nearer mid-morning. Michel Fabre, the prologue winner, riding for KTM. Cyril Esquirol on Honda. Second on the prologue, he's on board his XR600. Ceremonialdi, new colours for him, riding for KTM, 27th on the prologue, but 96th winner of this event. This is Martin Witschenberger, behind Ceremonialdi. Picking up Manialdi again. And his LC4 620 going through this beautiful desert scenery, which featured in 2 famous films, in Star Wars and more recently in The English Patient, the Lion Oscar-winning British film. Martin Witschenberger again for KTM. The man who's taken over from Heinz Kinnegartner after Kinney broke his thumb just a month ago. And Alain Perez going through the picture there. Kawasaki rider. 6th on the prologue and 3rd on this event in 1996. Manaldi again at speed. And Perez, the ex-French Enduro champion, who becomes the stage winner after 2 hours, 51 minutes and 36 seconds of hard riding. We talked to Perez about his stage win.
Alors Alain, une belle petite bourre à 2, il semblerait que vous ayez fait le trou en plus.
Well, I took a risk and it made a difference, he said. I took a lot of risks today. Maybe I lacked maximum speed and Mioni was faster than me on the straights, but we managed to come in together. So Fabrizio Mioni on the number 8 bike there, coming in with him on the KTM.
Questa è stata la prima tappa.
We talked to Mioni, he said, well, after the Dakar where I crashed and broke my leg, it's good to get back in the saddle and start pushing hard again. I was 6th on the prologue, so let's hope things are going to go well now. Mioni 2nd on the stage, 1 minute back though from Alain Perez.
Non vado forte, ma mi sto abbastanza tranquillo, ho ancora grossi problemi al polso. Perez è andato forte, ma io mi sono limitato ad andare tranquillo senza prendere rischi e si vedrà.
Martin Witschenberger from Austria on the KTM, 3rd on the stage, 4 minutes, 22 seconds. Behind the winner. Richard Sykes for KTM, 4th on the stage. Man who is 2nd on the 96 Tunis Rally and 3rd on the Dakar this year. He tells us how it went.
Richard, première étape facile.
Well, it's a nice stage, said Sykes. All types of roads and very good very good test for the rest of the event. I enjoyed it.
C'était assez sympa, quoi. Je pense que c'était une bonne mise en jambe pour la suite.
The sixth at the finish was this man, KTM rider from Italy, Massimo Chiesa. He too told us how his day went.
Allora, explica la gara della giornata.
La gara era a tratti molto da
Well, I got lost a couple of times, he said, but I managed to pick up the tracks, and of course, it's not that important on the first day, really. You've got to work your way back into the desert, and, well, didn't go too badly.
Comunque mi sono molto divertito, anche se ho una mano che ha un po' di problemi e faccio fatica a restare attaccato alla moto quando prendo i colpi più forti.
Thierry, cette première
And Terry
journée,
Manialdi, fifth on the stage. How did it go for the 96 winner? Well, he said I tried not to lose too much time. At 140 kilometers, I was perhaps 8 seconds behind the leaders, after having started 20 seconds behind them. I had Sainct in front of me, but then I had a problem with the rear damper. The remote reservoir broke off. I had some problems. 200 kilometers like that, it was rather rock and roll. Well, not everybody had a good day today. BMW here stopped on the stage. Fuel problems for Germany's Andrea Meyer.
Tu n'as pas fait à l'assistance? Il n'y avait pas d'essence?
Oui, il y a, mais j'ai perdu des essences.
Ah.
Got a fuel problem, she said.
Ich weiß nicht. Ja, ich habe ein Problem mit dem Sprit.
Well, she said, yes, it was a fuel problem. I don't know why, because we're supposed to have enough. I started with a full tank.
Es hat mir dann einer ausgeholfen.
I stopped 20 kilometers back, and I was able to continue, because of a nice Frenchman on bike number 72. He gave me 4 litres of fuel, which lasted only 20 kilometers. Stage finish was another 18 on, so I'll try to stop other riders. Maybe they can help me out. Andrea, incidentally, part of the semi-BMW works team that's just been reformed by former Paris-Dakar rider Norbert Schraber. BMW famous in the old days for the wins of Gaston Rai of Belgium and Hubert Auriol of France. Andrea stops teammate Thomas Wolff. He's on the BMW F650. Yes, indeed, he gives her some fuel, and she'll be able to get on with a little help from her friends. Well, he didn't want to know. Yes, he did. Belgian Paul Verheiden turns round, comes back, and the KTM rider's prepared to give us some of his precious liquid. So the German lady, perhaps the next Jutta Kleinschmidt, gets help from everybody and is able to continue for BMW.
Elle marche bien ta moto?
Oui, ça marche, mais sans l'essence, ça marche pas. Alors, c'est très gentil. Comment tu t'appelles?
Cyril.
Cyril.
Eh, la dernière fois que je t'ai rencontré, t'avais noyé la moto dans un oued à l'Atlas. Tu te rappelles?
C'est pas bon. Et c'est toujours la même avec le camarade.
She's not held up too much. She finishes, in fact, 80th today out of the 96 runners. On she goes. Well, let's have a look at the standings of today's second stage, Toza to Noël, 329 kilometers. And Alain Perez winning that stage from Fabrizio Mioni, from Martin Weichenberger, from Richard Sainct, from Tilly Magnaldi, and from Massimo Chiesa in 6th place. So good win for Perez. After winning the prologue as well, he's well out in front. hard work for a lot of people today in the deep sand of the Grand Erg Oriental, the Great Eastern Sand Desert. Rodolfo Rucco, there we saw people from all over here. All this space and they still managed to collide. We're looking at the moment for John Taylor, Honda rider from Britain. He's on an XR400 and he's sponsored by Brennmar Electrical. Well, that certainly isn't John Taylor. And take there by Olivier Monnier of Honda. Frenchman Patrick Kevokian, also Honda mounted. And here indeed is our John Taylor. One of the Brits will be following over the next week on his Honda XR400. And the British-centred rider going through, Robert van der Berg, on the Husky Sport KTM 640. That's our look at the bikes. After this short break, rejoin us. We'll see how everything went amongst the cars and trucks in Tunisia today.
Die Welt ist nicht für alle gleich. Kinderarbeit zerstört Körper und Seele. Helfen Sie diesen Kindern und rufen Sie jetzt an unter 0183 201 202.
Millionen Kinder müssen arbeiten, um zu überleben oder weil sie von skrupellosen Geschäftemachern dazu gezwungen werden. Terre des Hommes hilft, dass diese Kinder wieder ein menschenwürdiges Leben führen können. Ich bitte Sie, geben wir diesen Kindern ihr Lachen zurück und die Zeit zum Spielen und Lernen. Helfen Sie Terre des Hommes mit Ihrer Spende. Rufen Sie jetzt an unter 0183 201 202.
Enter the Fisherman's Friend competition and you could win a fantastic mountain bike. You could also win Fisherman's Friend merchandise. Call now. Good luck. Things are hotting up in the CONCACAF World Cup qualifying group. Canada have had a disastrous start and need to recover quickly. But next up for them are El Salvador, making their first appearance, an unknown quantity, and Canada with plenty to be worried about. The World Cup qualifiers, Canada versus El Salvador, Tuesday at 3 CET on Eurosport.
With Konica, Opel, and JVC Hi-Fi TV and Video.
Welcome back to Eurosport. You're with me, Mark Cole, looking at day 2 of the Rally Tunisia, Optic 2000 Rally of 1997. This is the Citroën camp, Pierre Artigue and Ari Vatanen, the two drivers under the control of Guy Fréquelin, as much as he's able to control them. The Citroën Sport Director there, just checking the cars before they set off today on this long stage, this long first selective 296 kilometers, as the temperature rises here in central Tunisia. Frekelin comparing notes and setting chronos with the organization people, Cyril Neveu and Cyril Pelletier.
Essayer de calmer les esprits des pilotes de façon à ce qu'il n'y ait pas d'erreur de fait dans la première épreuve.
Frekelin telling us
qui sont toujours la mise en
very
jambe
important today. Said I try to calm them down so they don't make any mistakes in the first stage, which is almost the most difficult one for them. And in the 201 car, it's Vatanen, the winner here in 88. And in the 200 car, Pierre Lartigue, winner 7 times here. The last 3 of them consecutive. So Lartigue is last year's winner. Second in the prologue, which he brought you on Saturday, to this man, Ari Vatanen. Winner of the prologue, and also, of course, winner of the 1996 Masters Rally, what would have been the Paris-Peking. Didn't quite make it into China, though. On that rally, incidentally, Lartigue, here following him, was driving a truck, racing in the Masters Rally. So Lartigue on board with Michel Perrin, and Vatanen driving with Britain's Fred Gallagher, man who's now clerk of the course of the RAC Rally. Frekelin having jumped ahead by helicopter, standing there waiting for the Citroën ZX Twins. Well, it's Lartigue and Perrin who win the stage after 2 hours, 28 minutes and 44 seconds of racing. Passing through the Tate and palm groves, along the edge of the salt lakes, these great features of the center of Tunisia. Just to show off his 4-wheel drive and his 650 horsepower, in he comes. Lartigue wins the stage. Ari Vatanen second, 2 minutes 7 seconds behind him. They tell us how it went. Well, Ari and I have been together since the start, he said, and yeah, we've been maximum attack.
Yeah, we twice took the different road. First time we managed to stay in front of him by 50 meters. We see him coming from the left, and the next time he came from the right and just managed to cut in front of us. And Tel Aviv, it's not dangerous yet, but he drives very well.
Jean-Louis Schlesser. Driving in Philippe Monet, off they go together in the T3 Schlesser Special with Seat V6 power. Third on the prologue on Saturday. Maintaining the status quo with third on the stage today, but 22 minutes, 43 seconds behind the Flying Citroëns. That's going to be the difference, one fears, throughout this rally. Well, Jean-Louis telling us I made some suspension tests today. Doesn't look too bad, but maybe a little bit too soft. Good navigation on the vent so far, so we're getting there. And I'll be speeding up over the next few days. Well, Jutta Kleinschmidt, his teammate, running in the second of the Schlesser Originals, and she has in her navigator's seat Matthew Stevenson from Britain. The German-English pair finishing fourth today, 31 minutes and 28 seconds down. Jutta, a great drive, of course, on the Dakar Rally this year, backed by Eurosport and winning a special stage on that event. And when she arrived, we asked the First Lady of German Motorsport, how did it go?
The first day was quite okay for us, especially Matthew made a very good work because it was his first off-road race now in the desert, and he made no mistakes, so this one was fantastic. We had one problem with the bike. He stopped just in a dune before me, so I had also to stop, otherwise I would roll over him. So I was stuck after, but we can get out after 5 minutes, so it was not too bad.
We're behind Jutta, finishing 5th today in the T2 Nissan Patrol from Team des Sud, Thierry de Laverne. Great performances by this man we've seen over the last few years. T2 winner of 96 Tunisia and in the Dakar. Finding some of the back market bikers. Unaware of what's going on, they don't of course have wing mirrors on the bikes. T2 flying finish by the Salt Lakes. Thierry de Laverne driving with Louis Argerlet.
It
was important today to see how all the suspension was working, he said. We tried to keep up the pace. We saw 2 or 3 people stopped. One of them seemed to be out of fuel. For the first day, I have to say we're running very well and the car is going absolutely brilliantly. So de Laverne finishing at 34 minutes, 10 seconds down on Lartigue. That's how big the gap is already between the 2 Citroens and the 2 Schlessers, then the T2 Nissan of Thierry de Laverne. Well, again, hard conditions in the sand today, so let's have a look at some of the runners there. Maurizio Colombo from Italy in his T2 Nissan. As the helicopter picks up André Jeaninier of France in his T3 Ipso Proto. Jean-Pierre Strugo there on the 204 car, the T1 Mitsubishi. One of the heroes, of course, of the Dakar this year. Strugo winning one of the special stages. Bernard Anquetil for Nissan, Daniele Bertolini for Daihatsu. And Jean de Silva, another old friend from the Dakar days, in his T1 Toyota. Well, our coverage is going to continue throughout this week, same time every night. So join us on Tuesday for the Noël to Zaghi Lane stage. See if Citroën can keep up the pace. See you then.